we've seen a very strange pattern come up for Western-developed computer games ported to the Famicom Disk System. On multiple occasions, a game has been licensed, and then completely stripped and turned into something radically different. You would never know that Magma Project Hacker is a port of Hacker, even with the overlapping title. There are bits and pieces here that reflect the original Hacker, and they sort of made a stab toward the loose concept of the original story. But this is a completely different interpretation of some of the basic concepts. Magma Project Hacker also marks the first official release on the Famicom Disk System by Tokuma Shoten, and somehow they're going to be the last publisher of a game for the platform. But how that strangeness came to be is a story I'll have to get into next week. I also need to point out that the previous Famicom Disk System release was in June, and now we're in August. The previous time the Disk System skipped a month with releases was May of 1986, basically right after it launched. Of course, we're now going to start skipping a lot of months, as the Disk System starts shutting down. Hacker was one of the more innovative adventure games of the 1980s. It didn't come with any instructions or guidance, and in fact bragged about that on the box. You just put in the disk and saw what happened. And what happens is you're prompted to log in. After a couple of failed attempts, the security glitches out, and you gain access to the computer systems of Magma Inc. And in particular, you've got control of one of their high-speed underground drones. You also quickly find out that Magma's new project is likely to destroy whatever continent they tested on, and spies have stolen pieces of vital documents that you need in order to stop it. The real game consists of finding your way through underground mazes that connect the world, and negotiating with these spies in various cities to get the documents that you need. Okay, I explained all of that so you can understand where Magma Project Hacker is coming from, and have an idea of how much has shifted. The only nod to the Hacker premise is in the opening when you receive a Famicom Disk System floppy. You put it into your system, and are in control of a humanoid robot wandering a world where plenty of other humanoid robots also wander around. You start out by wandering around Tokyo, and this kind of overhead Dragon Quest style view is used for all of the cities on the surface. Hitting the A button will bring up a menu, and there you have the options to talk, search, take, and use an item from your inventory. If you choose to talk to someone, then you could talk normally, threaten, flatter, or tell them a joke. Though you have to have a joke book before you can tell any jokes. You explore the cities trying to find information on the Magma Project. The game's a bit directionless here, and you just have to feel your way out, see if anyone wants anything. Basically, chat to everyone every way possible, and hopefully you get what you need. Every town has shops, and all of the shops sell exactly one item. And all of those items are one of four things. There are lights, which are permanent items that you have forever, and so you'll only ever need the first one that you get. Batteries, which refill your energy to its maximum of 100. Shields, and weapons. When you're ready to leave a city, you go to the Magma building, and there you can choose to rest, which will save your game, but not restore any health. Or you can choose to go into the tunnels. The tunnels are a vast first-person maze that encompasses the whole world, though none of the tunnels cross the Atlantic. There are 3 floors to this dungeon, and different cities are accessible from different floors. So you might have to go down to the 3rd floor before you can go up to the surface and visit a particular city. While you're wandering the tunnels, you might get attacked by enemy robots. And when this happens, your options are to fight, run away, take, or use an item. Defeating a robot gets you money, but there is no experience or levels. You have to buy new equipment for that. And there's only one set of a new shield and weapon for every floor in the dungeon. So most of Magma Project Hacker consists of wandering this maze to grind up enough cash in order to purchase the item you need to defeat the boss, and then progress the game. Always prioritize buying the shield before the weapon, because the shields are significantly less expensive, and having the best one available to you effectively makes you indestructible. Since the price of the shield is basically a rounding error compared to the price of the weapons, it just makes sense to prioritize that purchase. You have to have a light to navigate the maze, so you'll have to pick that up in Tokyo before you leave, and then never think about it again. Sometimes in the dungeon there are chests, and here you can choose to take the item in it, which is always a battery. You can carry a maximum of 3 batteries at once, and the chests always respawn if you exit the dungeon and re-enter, which means you never need to purchase batteries. In the deeper areas of the dungeon, if you stand still for a while, you'll get attacked by sentry drones, and here you have to give them a password or you'll take quite a bit of damage. In the end, the goal is kind of the same as the original game. You're trying to collect pieces of the document that will let you stop the Magma Project, though there is no negotiation with spies here, just fumbling around until you find somebody who has something you need. The curious thing about Magma Project Hacker is that there are 6 different endings. At the very end of the game, you're offered a series of choices, and each of these leads to something different. Of course, they're all just text screens, and only one of them is what you might call a good ending. But there are options for you. Sorry to say, but this is another one of those games that is totally unknown in Japan. The couple of people I could find talking about it mentioned that they found it to be difficult as children, but that's kind of to be expected here. The game doesn't give you much in the way of guidance. Now, I'm not going to knock Magma Project Hacker for being different from the original Hacker. This is its own thing. But as its own thing, it feels very low-rent RPG. The 8-bit era of RPGs weren't exactly deep or complex, and this feels like it stripped out what little there was. All there really is in this game is the grind for cash, and talking to every single character in the game until you find what you want. It makes Magma Project Hacker come across as a real slog.